So today I've got Cooper on a school day. I've not had a school day for a couple of days now with the Easter. I hope you all had a good Easter weekend. It seems strange not to have had dogs. I've had a few appointments, but yeah, not the dogs. So it's been quite nice actually. I've been relaxed a little bit. So anyway, I've got Cooper today to start off my week. He's 8 months old now. I've had Cooper a few times on a school day, and to begin with, he was very over the top, play, rough, biting, jumping on his other resident dog, Willow. And depending on the nature of the dog that you've already got, depends on whether they'll you know, put the dog in its place or not. And to begin with, they won't, because the puppy has a distinct smell, which is the puppy smell. So I always say it's like an adult and a toddler. You know, there's a lot of behaviour you will let slide with a toddler because they're still a baby, you know, and it's the same with dogs. So there's a lot of behaviour that the puppies will get away with because they're still a puppy, and the resident dog will acknowledge that and put up with it and tolerate it. Like I say, it depends on the character of the resident dog as to how much they tolerate. And some of them, they never do actually just put the dog in the place, put the pup in its place, you know, and so you have to then intervene. So when I say intervene, let them play. When it starts to get a little bit intense, give them that shh sound. Let them know, got to calm it down. Then you may have to stand up and just walk slowly, calmly towards them to get in the way of their play, split them up. But you're not reaching down with your hands to separate them. We're not moving quickly, we're not being reactive, we're very calm, we're in control, we're setting the boundaries. So all your behaviour is very matter of fact, very calm, and we give them the ch sound, and we use our body language in the way we stand to stand in between the dogs to split them up. And we just keep doing that, it's repetition. You don't have to be more intense each time you tell them, and you might think, God, I keep telling them they're not doing it. It's not that they don't know what you're saying, and it's not that they don't acknowledge what you're saying. They acknowledge all right, but it's a learned behaviour. And what they're actually doing is seeing how you address them. And as long as you remain calm each time, they'll get the message quicker. Again, it depends on the character of the dog as to how persistent they will be. But it's part of the puppy stage. It is part and parcel of it, unfortunately. Now the puppies, when they're over the top with the resident dog, that is a phase and it does pass. But in the meantime, you can intervene and basically claim the resident dog. You say what's right and what's wrong in the behaviour within the house. So that's that part of it. Then you've got the part where they don't want to stand still when you're out on a walk. So if you meet somebody with lots of puppies, everybody wants to see the puppy. And as the puppy's growing, you know, you want to, we love our dogs. So we stop and chat. Now the dog's every instinct says, don't stand still out in the open because you're in a vulnerable position. So they're not going to want to do that. And it's not that, oh, they're jealous, they don't like us talking, or they don't want to stand still, they just want to run. It's not that. It is that you're outside, you're in an open space and you're standing still. It's vulnerable. Their every instinct and drive tells them this is not what we want to do, we need to keep moving. So they will bark at you, and that's what Cooper's been doing, he's been barking. So when they do that, with the lead, just a little short check, a jerk on the lead, nothing forceful as such, it's just a sharp, clear movement with the lead, and at the same time do the ch sound. So you're letting them know it's the behaviour we don't want. Okay, I'm not going to be completely insistent with it and, you know, constant. You let them know it's not a behaviour you want. Now when the dog keeps barking, it's hard to keep talking to the person, but as much as you can, give about 4 or 5 seconds at least between each time you check the dog to basically say stop barking, you know. So give it the jerk on the lead and the sound, and then try and talk again to the person you're with. Give it 4 or 5 seconds and address the dog again if you need to, if they're still barking. So the thing with it is, don't get more insistent, don't get tense, don't get more forceful with the checks on the lead. Remain constant and calm, because what you're trying to do is convince the pup that it's all right, we're stood out in the open and it's all right. Now you're not going to convince the dog that it's all right if you start to get tense and if you start to move quickly and get reactive. That's not telling the dog that it's all right. So remain calm, okay? Again, part of the puppy stage. It's about teaching them. It's a learned behaviour. It won't happen overnight, and it's part of their growth. It's part of their development. So the other thing as well with Cooper was his socialisation with dogs that we don't know. And the concern with that is, as much as possible as a pup, let them be off lead, let them interact so that they can learn other dogs' body language. As long as they learn the body language and they can interpret what that other dog is saying, it's highly unlikely you're going to get a problem, okay? It's when the dogs don't understand the body language, when they haven't been allowed to socialise. We can be overprotective, and when we're overprotective, we stop the dog socialising, so we don't want the dog getting hurt. Totally understandable. But what you're doing is limiting their knowledge of how to behave around other dogs, which does actually put them in a vulnerable position, because when they do then meet a dog that's not friendly, we know that dog's not friendly, but they don't necessarily know that because they've never had the chance to learn. And the time to learn is when they're a puppy, because that's when it's more unlikely that they're going to get hurt, because they have this puppy scent. All right, we need to really use this puppy scent to our advantage as much as possible. Now Cooper's 8 months old, so he's going to be treated more as an adult now. Bless him, he's losing that puppy scent, but we need to remember that mentally he's still very much a baby. So my first walk of today is this: lots of energy. Energy in a dog is white noise. They can't listen, they can't concentrate. It's going to be really hard to do the obedience and the calmer training, so let them run. Give them that 10-15 minutes and let them get that energy out of the way. Let him run with Frank, and let Frank get his energy out of the way, and then I can work on the both of them with the lead, because he's still quite strong on the lead. Hit and miss with it. Some days it's great and some days not so great. So again, that's puppy behaviour, that's just what happens. But that's what I want to work on today with him. So this is the first walk, this is his playtime, this is his run around, this is his be a baby with Frank. This way, still throwing the this way, so I still keep them listening to me. And hopefully meet a few more dogs. Frank, shh. Hopefully meet a few more dogs when we're on this walk. So we're still fine-tuning his socialisation, his communication skills. I've got no concerns actually, he does understand body language really well. And yeah, and then I shall work on the lead work and get him really listening with that, and try and bring him back so he's not quite so strong. So that's my work with Cooper today. Have a good day everyone.